Book of Importantance 24:1-30. It was then that the Lesser Babylonians journeyed out into the desert in search of a path mark in which to redeem their coupon. On the first day the people rejoiced, being glad to return to the ways of their ancestors, and having forgotten the stories of alien wolves. But on the first night, they remembered, and said, "Fucketh. That hurts," and all manner of sacred speech as their legs were being eaten. On the second day, the Lesser Babylonians lamented, crying out, "We need a king." But, said Ephraim the pontificator, as the Jews have lost the line of David in their captivity, we in the generations that have gone by since our reunion with Babylon, have lost the line of Ira the destroyer. No man may be king of Lesser Babylon but a man of his line. This the sky god who delivered unto us the sacred symbol of the dragon has proclaimed. Lo! Said Egbert the imbiber of mead, looking up from his cup which had been dry since the first day, and which he now constantly licked with his tongue, trying to assuage his withdrawal. In my fasting, I have received from the sky god a great vision. It was revealed unto me that there would be wolf attacks on our people for 10 nights, and on the 11th day there would be a man who yet had legs with which to run, and that would be the sign that he was the last man of the line of Ira, and he would, like Ira when it was revealed that he was to be ruler of Lesser Babylon, be in his 17th year. He then fell dead from dehydration. During the next 10 nights the 17-year-old man tried in many ways to be the last man standing. There were those who built stilts, and those who buried themselves in the sand up to their necks, and those who practiced jumping very high, and those who wore beige in an attempt to blend in with the sand, and those who carried many milk bones with which to distract the wolves, but all were slain, or at the very least had their legs eaten. But on the 11th day, as prophesied, there was one man left who yet had legs with which to run, and as prophesied he was in his 17th year. This man was Engelbert the attendant, and it was he who was to be anointed king. On the 11th night, Engelbert single-handedly fended off the wolf attacks and saved his people's torsos from utter consumption. Book of Importantance 25:13-59. Engelbert the attendant stole many horses to carry his people across the desert. They all died from dehydration on the first day, so he used their meat to distract the wolves while he went out to steal camels in their stead. This was considered one of the greatest acts of heroism ever performed by a Lesser Babylonian, and is remembered even to this day in the saying, "Engelbert kicketh much wolf ass." And on the next night the wolves, having been defeated at the hands of Engelbert the attendant, stayed away. It is also said that they may have stayed away because the Lesser Babylonians had the idea to light fires that night, having until then forgotten that the Babylonians showed them that fire keeps animals away. This was considered a great day in Lesser Babylonian history, and the smokers, who until they remembered all the benefits of fire had been trying to light their cigarettes with sand or water, rejoiced most of all. These days and nights were good, but soon Engelbert the attendant, king of Lesser Babylonians, faced his first trial. The people were traveling by night, hoping to locate a path marked by looking for the big neon sign, when upon them came a band of marauders, who stole from them all that they had of value, and not even Engelbert the attendant could fend them off because they were armed with iron weapons, whereas Engelbert had only a stick because he was trying to emulate the sacred sign of sticks and a rectangle. The next morning was the second assemblage of the elders of Lesser Babylon. The elders, headed by Engelbert, talked and talked until they decided that, in order to keep their possessions of value from any who might steal, they would move them to the back of the camel caravan. This, they thought, was a good idea because if the thieves started searching at the front of the caravan, they would get tired quickly, and not bother to search all the way in the back. The Lesser Babylonians then rejoiced, and made preparations according to the idea of the elders, which was to be considered law. But, said Ephraim the pontificator, how will we know where to accesseth all of our valuable stuffeth when we needeth it? Especially on Sundays when the traffic waseth bad. The elders again assembled, and it was decided that in the back of the caravan would be a great sign, illuminated by the sun during the day, and torches during the night, that would read, "All things worth stealing are stored here." The sign would be flanked by arrows pointing to saddlebags on several camels, and next to the arrows would be written in the sacred tongue, "This way to the stuff worth stealing." "But," said Ephraim the pontificator, "what if the marauders come from the rear and overtake the men guarding the loot-carrying camel?" The elders assembled again and decided that they would have 2 men instead of 1 guarding the loot-carrying camel, so that, well, they didn't know exactly what the difference would be with 2 men instead of 1, but they figured it was better. Several dissenters came forward, saying, "The criminals will see said sign, and make fools of us in the eyes of the Persians, and Jews, and even the Babylonians who laugh at us still, even in their ignoble defeat by Persia. And if they have iron weapons, and we have only sticks, no matter how many men are put on duty guarding the loot-carrying camel, they will still be defeated, except that 2 lives will be lost instead of 1. Engelbert, hearing the cries of the dissenters, silenced them by cutting their tongues out at the root, because according to the law of Ira the decisions of high officials were to be considered sacred, and in opposing the decision they had committed blasphemy against the sky god. And so it was that the lesser Babylonians traveled through the desert, sent out by the Persians as ill-prepared idiots among wolves,